Okay, good to be getting off the road. Coming home is a good feeling. We're going to try to make the most of this thing, get rolling. A lot of teams in our division are still trying to get up on it, and we're one of them. So we're battling and looking for our ways to improve in a number of areas, and excited about some of the stuff that we're doing too, and want to see if we can keep it going and build on that. So this is a really important week for us. So anxious to get back at it.
You mentioned the teams in your division. Does that make it feel like, even though maybe you guys haven't started how you'd want to, that it's kind of all still there? All the teams play?
Well, there is some of that going around. Yeah. You know, and it's been hard. It's been hard for teams to get up on top of the schedule here. So, it's fortunate for us. It feels like we're starting again. You know, first quarter of the season is over, and that's hard to imagine. I wouldn't think that you can really write a great story right now, not knowing what else is going to happen, But so we're looking at that's done. Let's get moving, and we're within striking distance of doing something really special. So we're going for it.
Bruce Irvin is back. How did his workout go? And do you see this being maybe an Adrian Peterson type signing where he can have some influence on Boye Mafe and Darrell Taylor?
I don't think there's any doubt that he'll have some influence. I'm really glad to have him back. I've always loved Bruce and what he brings, how hard he plays and how much he cares and the intensity and all of that. And we'll see. I'm not asking him to come out here and give speeches and stuff like that. As long as he breaks them down every once in a while, we'll be in good shape. But he will have an effect. He's been around enough. He cares a tremendous amount about excellence and the style of play and playing tough and all that. And so he'll have a good effect.
Playing wise, how can he fit in?
Well, we'd like to get him when we think he's ready to go, to get him in the rotation. We're trying to move those guys and keep those guys fresh. So. We were counting the way we had seen Bam, that we really liked what he had done, and so we're filling that void there, with not having him in the rotation.
When did the conversation start about seeing if Bruce was even interested in this development?
With the guys that are in the area, that kind of conversations never stop. They're always on. I get texts. I got it. I'm still ready. From a number of guys. So. He's always been in our conversations, So seriously, we called him this last week, to check out what's going on, if he's available. He's working hard. He's been working really hard. He's in terrific shape. He had a great workout yesterday, and so he's an impressive workout.
The way he plays, how does that relate, Pete, to your new scheme compared to?
Well, he played in the Chicago scheme, with Sean, and so he's already been introduced to it, and he's a good edge football player. It's what he always was best at, and so it fits really well with his makeup. And we're going to play him a lot and try to use his instincts like we do Chenna, where we really give him a lot of freedom and see if he can make good choices at the right time to take shots and to do the things that can really make that position difficult. Chenna's had a terrific start to this season, and a lot of that has to do with his instincts and his savvy and the willingness to take a chance at stuff once in a while, and I don't want to explain it a whole lot more than that, but I'm anxious to see how Bruce does with us in this.
What do you know about the timelines for Darrell, Johnson, and Alton Robinson?
Alton's getting really close. Darrell's still a few weeks away.
When you talk about Bruce, he's always been a freakish athlete, but how does the catalog of plays that he has in his head help him become a more savvy player at this point?
Yeah, well, just with the years of experience, he will sense things and he'll see things kind of as they're happening, maybe sooner than a young guy would, and also. From the moment we started talking seriously about doing this, I'm talking to him about willing to take his shots and trust his instincts, and to see if that can, activate him into, where he's making some problems for our opponents. So, I've just watched it in Chenna, and I was really, really fired up. That it's to me, Chenna's playing the best football he's played, and we've cut him loose, So, I'm curious to see how it goes for Bruce.
New practice squad, I guess not new, but sort of new practice squad format, maybe afford opportunities to veteran guys so teams can bring them in. Like, okay, maybe this guy's not ready to be on the 53, but
this is one of the best things that's happened in a long time in the league to me. I mean, it's such a good deal for former players. They have a chance, and not everybody looks at it like that. Some of the guys think, they think it's below them to come back. But there's other guys that love to play the game, and this gives them another opportunity to get back in the program and take advantage of their opportunity. So we use this really actively to try to, see if we can turn over something that might be really good and give a guy an opportunity that might be really special for us. And I particularly love this whole format.
Is it here to stay, as far as you know?
I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know why they wouldn't. Excuse me. To me, the more players they make available, the better for the players. It's better for the guys to keep playing the game. It gives us more opportunities to keep guys healthy. It gives us more chances to, do a really thorough job and not rush guys back because of needs and things like that. There's a number of positives about this, and so I hope it continues to go forward, and everybody understands it that way because it's really good for the game.
In general, what have you thought of your edge group through 5 games?
Well, we've been in rotation because nobody has really just dominated the position where we couldn't have him on the field, except for Chenna. Chenna, we're playing a ton. He's playing. I wish we could rotate him more. We're trying to. He's stacking up a bunch of plays right now, but he's been really good in rush. He's been really good in the running game. He's a terrific leader on the field and all of that. So, but we're still working it, and it's given Mafe a chance to get going. He's getting off to a good start now. He's going to play again this week and get a lot of reps. And there's so much ahead of him. I mean, he's at the other end of the spectrum of the savvy world that we're talking about, and but it's coming, and really talented. So, we're trying to get where we can really feature our guys as rush guys. You see, that's what we're doing with Darryl, trying to get him really quality rushes when he gets his chance, because he can be dynamic for us there, and not wear him down in less than that impact, hopefully. And so. I think I don't have a settled issue, a settled opinion on it yet. I think these guys are still growing with it. And it's new for some of our guys, so we can expect to see some real improvement.
Look at the Cardinals. How do you neutralize or try to neutralize a guy like Zach Allen?
He's really playing good. He's really a good fundamental player, and he's got great leverage coming off the ball, and he takes advantage of schemes and opportunities because of his mentality and all. He's a good football player. So we have to get 4 hands on him a lot. We'll try to have 2 guys blocking him as much as possible and comboing off of him.
How have you felt Jordan and Cody are playing at the 2 inside?
I think they're both going with the system, and they're going to continue to take advantage of the system more so. They're still working their way through some of the stuff. I thought last week was the best game the 2 of them played. I thought they moved together and attacked the line of scrimmage well. I thought that was Cody's better game for him. So that's a good step forward. There's a lot of cool things in this system that allow them to be active and to take advantage of the calls, and we're not fully doing that yet. But they're getting there. Jordan is an incredible football player. He's an incredible player, and I don't know that there's anything but the sky is the limit for him. So we'll keep shooting for it.
What you've seen so far, is Irvin possibly playing this weekend?
I'm open to that. We need to see what's going on. It would probably be better for him if we didn't, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how the week goes.
How's Al Woods doing?
Optimistically, looking towards the weekend. We're going to rest him a couple days, though, to make sure. I mean, he would rest one of these 2 days anyway. We're going to get both of them. We'll bring him back out on Friday and see how he's doing.
What are you hoping to see out of Tony Jones? How quickly do you think you guys can get him comfortable in the offense?
Well, we don't have much time. He's got to go. He's got to get ready this week. There's the elevation opportunities and moving guys. We have some guys that can play. I wish Darwin Thompson would have had a chance to step into this one, but this week, depending on how it goes, that opportunity might not be there for him. So Tony's got to go. You can only elevate 2 guys off the practice squad, so we have to be, very smart the way we do that.
You still only get 2 per guy, right?
3.
Oh,
3.
Bringing Cullen up to the 53, just what's he shown you so far?
Really, exactly what our guys were hoping for. And he's really smart. He's really fast. He's aggressive and tough, instinctive. Been involved with a number of tackles already. He's been right in the middle of the core stuff. He jumps right into being the personal protector. That's a big job because he's controlling the whole front and all of that. So really reliable and excited about his play.
Does the potential of the game being moved back 90 minutes change anything for you?
Not at all. Let's hope it gets moved back. What a game last night, huh? Golly, what an unbelievable, opportunity for lessons for our guys. About you just keep hanging, you just keep holding up the forward, give yourself a chance all the way to the last pitch. It was an amazing game. It was a great game by the Mariners last night too. Just as the guys came through.
Look at the Arizona offense. Zach Ertz had his yards and his touchdowns last year. Why is it that he is such an effective tight end?
He's really a natural ball player. He's got great hands, really great instincts for getting open. Comes through, when he gets his chance, tough situations and stuff, and they use him in crucial situations. That he gets to look from the QB, and he's just a really, all-around good ball player.
Given the number of injuries they have at running back, I know that you know that pain, but does it change how you watch their offense or what you expect from them Sunday?
Always, yeah. We're watching all that, yeah, and we need to see how they show us early in the game how they've decided to adapt.
After the game, when you were talking about Tariq's pick, you said that that's a difficult route to make that play on. What makes that so?
That's a good question. When a corner's out there playing by himself, in essence, whether it's 3 deep or man-to-man, his first responsibility is to cover the deep ball. And if there was a coverage that you could call that a corner could cover the deep ball and stop out routes, you'd call it every snap. Okay, that doesn't exist because you got to take the deep ball. You got to stay on top, and to stay on top means that they're going to be able to burst off line of scrimmage and break back. So to be able to cover the deep ball, which he was in position to do that, and come back and have the rhythm and the sense to jump that route too, that's a big deal. Because it wasn't like he lucked out. It wasn't like he guessed. He just played the route and was on it, and then got his foot in the ground and got back, and then made a terrific catch with the guy, contesting it. So that's why, because it starts with you've got the number one responsibility is to stay on top of the guy. So, like I said, I've been coaching secondary for a million years. If I could find the coverage where a guy could cover the deep ball and the out routes, I would call it every snap. It doesn't exist.
And you said on the radio that you clocked him at 22 something.
Somebody said 22.9. I didn't do that. I don't know where that came from. Somebody threw that, put it on a sticky note on my desk. I don't know more than that.
Is that the same technology?
I can't validate that number. Okay. That's just what I heard.
Is it the same technology that like Next Gen Stats uses with the trackers and stuff?
Yes. Yeah, I think, no, don't let me speak out of school here. I'm not sure where that one came from. That was just one that they gave us, so I don't know where that came from. But it is, it has to do with tracking the speeds, and we're learning, what those differentials mean now, You're in the 22s, you're flying, and the high 21s, you're flying. Anything in the 21s is pretty darn good. The real fast guys are in the 21s.
Does every player wear one of those trackers now?
No, we can't wear those in the games, do we? They do it differently. They track it differently. We wear pucks. They call them pucks. I don't know why they call them pucks. It doesn't look like a hockey puck, Greg, in case you're wondering. But they wear those things during practice, and we use those. But they use a different technology in the games. I could be totally wrong on that. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, just following up on Tariq Woolen, how much does him having experience as a wide receiver give instinct or having experience?
It's an enormous advantage. I've noticed it before with other guys. The best example is Richard. Richard was a receiver, and if you think about it, why does that help you? Well, if you've run a bunch of routes in your lifetime, and you know what the rhythms are, making the breaks, and what it takes to get down, to get out of your stem of the route, the way you look at stuff, formations, all of the offensive background that you have that gives you maybe a hint of what's going on, that's the difference. They have more advanced information that once in a while triggers something. I know exactly what this route is as it's happening. And so that's what Sherm did that throughout his career. And a lot of guys have, but it's a tremendous an asset to have in your background. And it's worked. I noticed it in Tariq early in camp. He had a couple of stems that came off routes, and he went and covered the route. And I went immediately to him, what happened right there? So I knew he was running this route. Well, that's what some guys use to their advantage. They can tell. And when they can tell, it gives them, they don't have to wait for the guy to break and then go to the route. Oh, it's an out route. It's like, yeah, this is the route I thought it was, And that's where guys can gain an advantage. And that's why there's, let's just stay with Sherm because he liked me talking about him. Sherm played best when he could see the quarterback and see the other receivers when he was coming off the line of scrimmage, because he could use all of that information to tell him what might likely happen outside. And that's a zone mentality, but a guy uses the quarterback setup, the depth of his drop, the release of the inside receiver, as well as the split and the release of all of those things factor in to the guys that can use that kind of information. Some guys don't have that ability. They don't have that instinct, and they play more strict to the guy. But when you find a guy like that, then that's a guy that has a chance to be playmaker. And so we're learning about Tariq right now. He's doing some pretty good stuff.
Roughing the passer was back and getting a lot of attention this weekend. I guess, is there anything, do you show those plays to your guys? And is there
Before
a
the week's out, yeah. We'll get to it. We haven't done it yet. I saw the one in the KC game, and that was a 1 in a million play. I mean, the guy, he's taking the football out of the guy's hands as they're on their way to the ground. And as he secures the ball, you know, well, how do you brace? And he put his hand down, but he landed on him. Okay, that's legit. But okay, yeah, it's easy to see now. The official had to see that all in a flash. He had to detect that. He saw him chest him, you know, to the ground, and that part kind of happened. But he was making a great play to consciously pull that ball away and then just do whatever he could to survive his fall too, and it happened to land on the quarterback. So you like the official to see that, but the fact that they didn't see it that way, and maybe they don't even know, maybe they don't even see it that way now, but that's the way he could have interpreted it. But that's a lot to ask, you know. So it goes into the heap of he threw his weight on the guy as they hit the ground, and so that's why that penalty happened. We had a sack in this game. I think it was Big Al's sack. He tossed the guy to the ground. It was almost very similar to another one, the one on Brady, and so they're working at it. You know, these calls as they happen, they study and work their tails off to try to fix the interpretations. I'm anxious to hear what happens by the end of this week when we get our stuff from them. I'm sure they'll be talking about it.
I think Chris Jones said after the game that he thinks maybe that should be a reviewable kind of play in that situation. Do you have a thought about that?
Yeah, I think getting it right is what's important. So, I always have hated instant replay. Okay, I like the game, just keep going. But now that we have it, let's use it right, and as much as we can and whenever they can. It's because in there's the real instance. He's right in that. I think if they would have looked at it again, they go, oh, okay, now I see what happened. But maybe the league is going to determine that it doesn't matter what happened. You landed on the guy, and so that's why they call it that way. There's some interpretations like that. You hit the guy in the head even though you weren't trying or whatever. It's a penalty. So
Is how the legal strike zone for a pass rusher been shrunk? Is that almost impossible now for them to do their job when they can only hit from what?
No, they can do it. They can do it. It's the decision is if the guy had a chance to make a decision, then he needs to make it. That's the biggest thing. That's if there's an opportunity for a guy, yeah, he could have pulled off or could have avoided, got his head to the side. That's really the deal here. The below the head and above the knees, that's not a problem really. Our guys can adapt to that. We've done that really well.
The throws Geno's been making on the move, like the touchdown to DK or that one rolling left to Fant, has he maybe shown you more there in terms of running around than you thought?
He's been throwing like that. It's not. I mean, it's fantastic that it's coming out in the game, and they're huge plays. DK had 2 of them. 2 great plays, the throw to Fant was, but that wasn't a scramble. That was a design, But still, that ability, Geno can throw everything. He can throw it all, and we've always seen that. He's always had a marvelous range of through the motions and what he can do with the football. So, but it's really exciting to see it happen in the game so naturally and so so comfortably for him.
You need to see again from different angles to really appreciate it versus in game.
Well, we went pretty crazy about it when it happened in the game, but yeah, it was that's beautiful football. It's really cool that Noah. Remember earlier in might have been preseason, he had a ball on the sidelines where he didn't get his feet in bounds. He's had a couple different chances to do that for us, and it's good to see that he's improved there.
You said that one was designed for Geno.
Yeah, that was a bootleg pass.
Did you hear anything from the league on Charles's penalty at all? Or?
Yeah. I did.
How different are the?
Hey, let's talk about it. Since we're all here amongst friends. Okay, they sent us a video 2 weeks ago about guys that have a grip on the lineman, the defensive lineman, and they showed an illustration of a guy who had a guy latched up, and he latched him up, and as the quarterback, it was Rodgers, I think. Scrambled out. He latched up and then he released him. And they showed, okay, so if you have him and you release him, then it's okay. If there's enough space between that quarterback or the player that he released, and it was our thing was almost exactly the same deal, but we were close. Geno was closer to him than the illustration. So. they're trying to figure it out. You know, they're really. I mean, this ain't easy what they're doing. And they're trying to figure it out. So maybe that was the right interpretation. I don't know that yet. We didn't get a clear indication of was it the distance away from the snatch and release, or did they just think he held him? You know, so I don't know that yet. But
Did the league's illustration include the theatrics of the defensive player?
that's become the ball game right now. You know, it's like hoops. You know. They didn't talk about that.
The end of the first half, when you decided to go for the big shot with Lockett, how much did the way Smith handled that whole sequence with no timeouts, knowing that he's either throwing a touchdown or he's throwing it incomplete, not to take a sack, 3 points in the bag, all of that, how does that reassure you that the trust that you mentioned a couple of weeks ago taking off the...
Yeah.
Was that a validation of, yeah, this is...
Again. Yeah, again, I mean, he's already, I'm all in, you know, and we were trying to bring him on and figure it out, how far Geno could take it, and there's no doubt. You know, we don't have any hesitation, and that's using those opportunities to trust and go for it. I mean, they aren't always going to work out like that, but because of the way we believe they're going to work out like that more than they're not, you know, because we'll go for it, and we'll cut our guys loose and count on our guys to make their plays. Yeah, I mean, that's tremendous trust in the protection. Remember, he slid up in the pocket so beautifully to get that done. The protection was perfect. And but it's also making that throw. He's been around those kinds of plays. He's seen it. He knows now, and we're not restricting him at all. And we trust that he's going to make the right choices. And so that gives us a sense that we can keep going for it. You know, we're pretty efficient right now. You know, and it's getting done. So hopefully we can keep growing.
The way that you're asking guys like Quentin and Puna and your other interior guys to play now in the new scheme, is that different than how you were asking them to play earlier in their careers?
Some. We've done all of it. We've done all of the stuff that we're doing now. We've done in the past. When we go to the 4-3 stuff, I know you're a scheme guy. Go to the 4-3 stuff, it's the same as it's always been. Nothing changes there. In the 3-4 stuff, there's a little bit more of us playing, you know, reading the linemen a little differently. But we've always did it too, though. That was always part of our stuff. It's a little more predominant now.
There's not much of an adjustment for those.
There's not much what?
Not much of an adjustment for those guys then, really.
No, they've played this way before. Yeah.
And Shelby's been playing in Denver.
Yeah, he's in the exact same scheme at Denver, in principle.
A couple injuries. Penny hurt. How's he doing?
He's got a pulled hammy, and it's still sore. It's going to be a little bit for him.
And Gabe Jackson, is he okay?
We don't know yet. We're going to wait all the way through the week. We're going to give him a break and see if he can respond. Don't know that yet.
Marquise Goodwin.
He's in practice today.
So was it for Gabe? Is it hip? Is his hip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.